Meanwhile, He's Just a Boy is making his way down into the basement. From here, making the turn and heading towards the cell. And our third item, non-dungeon item, is an arrow boost. So blind or the fourth, the big chest will have the last item.
Very interesting.
I'm gonna have a look at that big chest, because at this point, why not? It's a piece of heart. So no progression out of Thieves Town, however, certainly got, well, let me rephrase that. Possible progression. The Mushroom Fetch quest could yield something. It could yield an item, or it could yield something nasty. Like, it could yield vanilla powder to lead to Magic Bat, to lead to Shovel.
And Shovel could lead to Ice Rod.
Yep, they do need Ice Rod for blind, though. I mean, Trinex, though, because He's Just a Boy is at blind. And He's Just a Boy might want to consider using a potion down to half a heart with no defense backup, so the potions definitely have to come into play. Blind is down.
Very nicely done.
Here, I really do not see any harm in heading north to checking Skull Woods, because version 26 Logic is known for holding at least one progression item. He's Just a Boy is opting to continue. Thought we were gonna have a save and quit for a second. Looks like we're gonna have a bumper cave check. And it's a full heart. Nothing required. So nobody's heading out that way to get that. Meanwhile, Felix has a blue potion up ready to use, but is not gonna need it because blind is down on his end. We are going to have a Skull Woods, and He's Just a Boy's end, probably thinking there's some sort of progression here. It's version 26, so possible. Oops, dashes off the ledge. But also, this is the Green Pendant dungeon. So if they find Fire Rod, does taking out Mothula become a strategy? Nicely done dropping those two beetles down the hole with that chest open. Well done. Our first non-dungeon item is just 50 rupees. Felix0the0cat is coming right behind again. This is becoming very interesting. There's one more chest that He's Just a Boy can check at this time. It's a bit tricky to set up with Fighter's Sword, but Boomerang can still stun Gibdo, so not a bad thing to use in this situation. Although Bo can take Gibdo out in one hit, so can Ethan. Going for the Boomerang strats. Wisely avoids the Wallmaster. And that chest is a big key, so we are not quite done yet with Skull Woods. He's Just a Boy can go back and check the big chest, because the big key was at its vanilla spot. Now how dirty would it be if it was vanilla Fire Rod?
Ooh, that would be terrible. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be terrible. That'd be nice, but I'm sure the runners will be,
Yeah, the runners will be wondering, probably wondering what we would all be wondering, and asking if that was supposed to be randomized. Meanwhile, Felix is opting to battle the Gibdo. In this situation, using Ether or the Silver Arrows would be much faster. It would be one shot. And it's the mirror!
Ooh, that's
He's
big.
Just a Boy pulls the mirror out. So once again, version 26, Skull Woods having a required item for progression. So resetting that, now a way is open to get to the top of Death Mountain. But He's Just a Boy is also heading to another area that's open, Swamp Palace. Which is an interesting play because you don't have the hook shot. But you can still get a lot of good items out of it. Meanwhile, Felix is making his way to getting the mirror as well. A little bit of a slip off the ledge there from Felix, but Felix now indeed has the mirror.
Very nice. Now, Leslie, where do you think the runners will dip into next?
Well, we've got He's Just a Boy heading into Swamp. That's one possibility, whereas Felix is heading up to Death Mountain. And that's not just to take on Hera. After Hera, East Death Mountain is also open. There's 8 chests over there, plus information on what's at the end of Hookshot Cave. I probably would have been doing what Felix is doing here and going to East Death Mountain. And we got the Master Sword on He's Just a Boy side, so the different play actually kind of paid off for him.
Oh yeah, Master Sword is much better than the Fighter Sword.
Yeah, it's better in terms of damage. Plus, you get the Fighter Sword is a pixel short. That extra pixel can make a difference. Felix0the0cat is in Hera. We've got 2 non-dungeon items here, plus a very mean boss. Felix picks up 50 rupees. Now this chest will determine if you go upstairs or downstairs. I'm hoping it's a big key, but it's the small key. That means it's basement required. Which means big key is in its vanilla spot. Okay, looks like Felix0the0cat was setting up for the block flip, but he's having trouble because dodging those up gets it this time. Now this is a real cool property. While Link's just standing still with those blocks under him, he's got infinite iframes. Nothing can hurt him. At least until an input's pressed. So those blocks can keep flying at him all day. He's not gonna feel a thing.
I'm sure Felix will take this time to maybe have a quick breather, a little glass of water, and then get back on.
That too. Glass of water, stretch the wrists. About to pick up his big key. And at this point, the recommended move would be to mirror out of there, because it's much faster than walking, which he does. Now to head on upstairs. While He's Just a Boy hits the switch, drains the water. because there was no hookshot, no worry about flooding the key, which is something you can do if you have the hookshot. But if you do that, you have to reset the dungeon, which is a pretty healthy time loss.
Yeah, not to mention having to deal with the frustration knowing that you flooded the key.
Yep, we've all done it, and that's the moment where you just absolutely kick yourself. And our second non-dungeon item in Tower of Hera is a piece of heart. So now Felix is not even going to have to worry about the big chest, and can proceed straight off to Trolldorn, one of the meanest bosses in the entire game. Uh-oh, He's Just a Boy has taken a death in a really bad spot in the western part of the Swamp Palace, which that's got to be frustrating. I think he's just noping right out of there while Felix0the0cat takes down Moldor.
Yeah, I'm sure with He's Just a Boy not having the hookshot, they're only wanting to go so far in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, to that end I can't blame him because that's not a good... I mean, no death's a good death, but one that's that far into a dungeon where you know you're gonna have to do some backtracking to get both chests, there's a line you gotta draw somewhere as a runner to where I say, it would make more sense if I come back and do this later. That's probably what Felix is thinking. Nothing at the end really of importance at the end of Hookshot Cave, just an arrow boost. Felix0the0cat is getting some real... Well, he was getting good RNG until that jelly decided to electrocute. Oh, you just don't want to get shocked by that thing. And we got the Kid of Samaria! In Spiral Cave! They say to never miss Spiral Cave! And this seed is precisely the reason why!
So with the Cane of Samaria being found, all we need from Misery Mire is the Titan's Mitts.
There's also Turtle Rock as well, but the thing with that is we don't know. The only way that our runners could not get in besides Titan's Mitt would be not if it were Bombos. And we got two shield upgrades in Paradox Cave? What is this? The reverse of a seed that I called? Where Rick found like 3 swords in here?
3 swords in Paradox Cave. That's kind of...
Yeah, that was a crazy find. Believe me on that. I'm gonna lose it if we find the 3rd shield in here. Oh, we got the ice rod and the hook shot. Wow.
So
Paradox Cave was definitely a paradox in the sense that the items there were where the real hype was.
So there's a Swamp Palace being able to be completed.
Absolutely, and I would expect that to be the next play now. I mean, I can't fault He's Just a Boy for heading... Oh wait, it looks like we're about to have a fetch quest get turned in. Take a quick route out through the trees. Let's see what the fetch quest yields. A bomb boost. Not a bad thing. Well, the timing's good. If you're gonna pick up potions and turn in the mushroom fetch quests, that's excellent timing. Now, heading into Swamp Palace, Felix may only have the fighter sword at the moment. However, we do know that he will find the master sword in there. So with that being said, we're really just 2 items away from a possible go mode.
Yeah, we still need to see the fire rod and what's the second item we need for go mode?
Second item is the Titan Smiths. Now, if we find Book of Medora, then there would be a possibility of a lift upgrade at pedestal, because while fire rod would be dealt with would be required for Skull Woods, you could still do the 3 pendant dungeons without finding the Titan Smith. He's Just a Boy wraps up Moldor. So when He's Just a Boy cleans out East Death Mountain, he's likely going to be running right back to Swamp, as Felix0the0cat gets the Master Sword.
Now, Leslie, the Titan's Myths and the Fire Rod, both of our required items. Where do you think we'll find them?
Now, we already know Fire Rod's not going to be vanilla. There's a chance that it could be here, within Swamp Palace. On the flip side, we could find Bombos first and require that, as He's Just a Boy gets Cane of Samaria. So what you could see is Cold Stare could wind up having the Fire Rod in this situation, just simply because you find Bombos, and Bombos would be needed for Ice Palace.
That is true.
It would be dirty, but hey, it's version 26, so you're gonna see some dirty tricks like that. He's Just a Boy going up to shield level 2. Bomb boost in the south end of the dungeon from Felix. And let's just hope Felix does not flood the key, or else not be good. And okay, Felix, you really just teased flooding the key there, dude. That would not have been good. You would have cost yourself some time there.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm sure Felix would have been very frustrated.
Yeah, so that caused some excess heart palpitations there. Thankfully, I realized it was just a tease and was like, okay, released. Meanwhile, He's Just a Boy is fluting off and heading right to Swamp Palace. The problem with entering Dark World is that your previous teleporter disappears, even though it was required to get up Death Mountain. Well, the price that has to be paid. Now we're gonna get a look at the west side of good old Swamp Palace. It'd be great if you could go mode Swamp Palace, but I don't see that being possible this seed. West side. At the big key. Non-vanilla. And a bomb boost. So while Felix0the0cat might still have missed something with the big chest, here's to hoping.
Now, I don't think we've seen the compass yet in Swamp Palace, have we?
No, we haven't seen the map either. And half magic out of the big chest, that is an excellent thing to have, especially since we know we're heading into some pretty magic-intensive dungeons later on. little extra cushioning is gonna really help. So missing the big key here would prove to be rather costly in terms of resources.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that he's just a boy opens up that big chest.
Absolutely, but he's still got to go and finish the west side of the dungeon, while Felix0the0cat is in the north. Now he can flood this right away because he's already been here. He already lifted the pot, he already grabbed that key. One of those chests had a big 20, unfortunately. There's the compass, the last chest of the dungeon. Now, I did not see if Felix got a map or an item out of that chest, one of those two chests. Either way, we got ourselves an Argus fight coming up.
I believe Argus will have the last item.
Looks like Felix0the0cat is downing the blue potion to get some to full health for the boss.
Now, I wonder if we'll see some hammer strats from Felix, but I don't think we will.
Scratch that, he's going for the hammer strats, so opting to play the DLC boss in the menu. Otherwise, it's 2 hits with the Master Sword. As to, in terms of which one's faster, I really couldn't tell you. Yeah, I'd just take the sword hits, but that's at this point, but that's just me.
I think optimal strategy for this would be to have the tempered sword.
Yeah, when you have the tempered sword, this first phase, each part of the first phase that gets pulled off of Argus goes down in 1 hit. Compared to the 2 hits it takes with the Master Sword. Now, if our players had Fighter Sword or no sword, this menuing would be required. Also, Argus is one of those enemies that is a really weird hitbox, but is vulnerable to silver, so looks like we're gonna see a silver shot from Felix. Like I said, it's a very weird hitbox, where sometimes you think you get it, but game says no, but that time, Felix does get it, and gets a piece of heart.
Showing Argus some angry slashes.
I don't think anybody can blame him for that, because Argus can be a really, really tough boss. Felix is mulling over his next one.
I wonder where Felix will head next.
Question. Did we check Hobo at all? Because I honestly don't think so.
I want to say Hobo was 20 rupees.
Okay. Looks like Felix is going to check Haunted Grove Ledge. Not a bad play at this point. If you have the mirror, you might as well have a look. Nope, visiting Stumpy first. I spoke too soon. Meanwhile, he's just a boy going through the DLC boss known as the menu. Now, the problem with menuing is you shoot the hook shot in this fight is that if by some reason you miss and use mirror to another item, you have to menu back the hook shot. So one way around that is just wait for the hook shot to latch, then make. Is about done with phase 1 of Argus. Felix0the0cat heading to the digging game. Gonna be disappointed though. And nice shot by hesjustaboy, taking down Argus with a single arrow. And it looks like Felix0the0cat is saying hi at the digging game. Okay. That's well done. GG, Felix0the0cat. That was pretty funny. I would clip that, please. That was pretty good.
So it looks like Felix might actually head over to Pod.
Not a bad play, because we have all the tools needed to beat Pod. Plus, we get up to 5 non-dungeon items in a dungeon that also has a lot of keys. Basically, that and Pod are key heavy, but also item laden. So, basically, look at it like a mullet. It's a business situation in the front. Once you get to the back, it's a party up in here. Hesjustaboy is also heading towards Pod.
So I'm gonna guess with Palace of Darkness, either Titan's Mitts, Bombos, or Fire Rod will be found here.
That's what I'm thinking. And this first chest is going to determine how this dungeon gets routed. And it turns out to be a small key. So now you're able to head north at this door, and you don't have to deal with the mimics right away. Now, if this next chest is an item, then that sort of throws a monkey wrench into that routing. But it's a small key, so now it's going to be a trip downstairs up to where the vanilla big key chest is, a fall back downstairs to get another chest, then head towards the mimics. This is how I hoped to route Pod every single time, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work out that way. Interesting to note, hesjustaboy has not done the mushroom fetch quest yet. We have the big key. Felix0the0cat heads towards the mimic. Thankfully, with silver arrows, the mimics are down in 1, 2, well, almost 3. But mimics are all, green mimics rather, are also vulnerable to sword smashes, amongst other. Now, here's something to note. On that walkway, if you're on the left side and you time your dash just right, you're not going to have to worry about getting hit by a spike slide. We have a lot of keys already.
Yeah. Developers of Randomizer don't want you to get soft locked.
Absolutely, that would not look good. Oh, nice bonk by Felix0the0cat to get up to where you can shoot the arrow. Or try to shoot an arrow at the switch. Wasn't sure where Felix was going, but he was actually resetting the enemy positioning of the room. Nice play. Meanwhile, like He's Just a Boy is making a play straight for the boss.
I'm wondering if they're going to take that gamble and just hope that there's nothing good in Palace of Darkness.
That is quite the gamble. I'll admit, when hunting for items in a dungeon where you can get 5, and I haven't found one yet, I'm probably not doing this, but at the same time, maybe he thinks that he's behind.
That is definitely a possibility.
Because thinking you're behind will make you do some fun things. Now, so far, I haven't seen anything major found on the side of Felix0the0cat. I can confirm that by looking at his pause menu, so surprisingly, He's Just a Boy has played this the right way. But it does look like Palmasaur King's gonna hold an item here. Switches to silvers, finished him off. Now it is possible pedestals required, but we haven't found both, so we have no way of checking. Oh my goodness, what a play by He's Just a Boy! What a play! Coming up with the Titan's mitt! In terms of gambles, he just hit a monster of a home run! But that being said, he's going back in to check for items.
Oh, I'm sure they're thinking, well, that was there, so I wonder what else could be here.
Unfortunately, all that he missed is not going to lead him to anything else. Which is a bit anticlimactic considering that he just made a massive gamble and having it pay off masterfully. Kind of stunned right now.
Well, I don't believe He Just a Boy picked up the shovel. And the shovel could lead to something.
Absolutely, that shovel could be our go mode, because while unfortunately Titan's Mitt kills the pet height for this seed, unless we need bombos. So, we're not done yet.
Now that He's Just a Boy picked up their shovel, do you think they will go do the shovel spot immediately, or do you think they'll let that stew?
In this situation, even with finding an item as major as the Titan's Mitt, where you could, in theory, head right off and deal with Misery Mire, it may not be a bad idea to deal with it right away, but this is a dungeon-heavy logic. I would consider Mire first at this point in time. Meanwhile, Felix also just takes down King Helmasaur. Actually, hold that thought. He's Just a Boy is doing a fetch quest of a different kind. The first one. That first fetch quest, if memory serves me, is a bomb boost. Instead, opts to buy potions. Not a bad play.
It looks like Felix will head... Are they going to head to Ice Palace?
Now, I don't... No, I'm thinking checking island and going to Hobo, it looks like.
Maybe we didn't see a hobo and I'm just imagining things.
Hey, that's definitely... Hey, I've done it before myself, so... We're about to find out. The digging spot yields a rupee hoard. Not a bad thing to pick up. Especially if you need potions later. 50 rupees at Hobo, so that trip does not pay off. Well, it did, but it didn't. Meanwhile, Felix0the0cat is making the play on Meyer. Not a bad call, because now you're able to check Meyer Shed, Checkerboard Cave, mirroring out for Agony Cave, which is faster when looking at them separately by quite a bit. You can enter because Misery Meyer is the Quake Medallion. I think Felix0the0cat just mirrored somewhere where Link can't be, so he's got to go back. He's just a boy heading off to the...
It looks like Felix might, well, I guess I was gonna say it looks like Felix might dip into desert, but it looks like they're just headed straight for the Meyer Shed.
Not a bad play. Well, he's just a boy. Picks up a cane of Burna to complete the cane set. He got the big bomb boost.
And Felix is going to check Checkerboard Cave. Looks like we're going to have an Agina's Cave check.
Not a bad play, because if you can route it like that, you're going to save yourself time over doing them separately. Just bombs.
So Agina's Cave, not really holding that much.
But we got ourselves a blacksmith rescue. Now every time I see that blacksmith now in the dark world, looking like a toad, I'm thinking, wait a minute, is that Slippy Toad or Beltino Toad? I can't figure it out. For Star Fox fans out there, by the way. We got ourselves the magic cape. Now, unfortunately, with He's Just a Boy finding that, that's not going to lead to Bumper Cave, but what about Spike Cave?
Well, the blue cane also leads to Spike Cave.
That too. Both are good to have. Both have their uses. Cane of Burna does deal some damage. Well, but, unfortunately, lags the game up. Now, if you wind up having both, I'd recommend Magic Cape, because Magic Cape does not cause the game's bitrate to go straight downhill. Looks like Gary's lunchbox is about to be turned in.
Meanwhile, Felix trekking on through Misery Meyer, so let's see who makes the right gamble.
Full heart out of Gary's lunchbox. Felix0the0cat just got a piece of heart, and that's one of 2 non-dungeon items that can be found inside of Misery Meyer. Felix is just tanking it over the spikes. He's just a boy is making the play to Meyer. Won't find much in Meyer's shed, unfortunately.
I will say this match, fortunately, Felix does have the lamp going into Misery Mire. Last race that Felix had, lamp was actually their go mode item, and they did not even find the lamp, so almost all of the dungeons were done in the dark.
That's impressive. I would not be able to do that because I only know a handful of dark ones in the game, and Meyer, Pod, and Turtle Rock are not on the list. That's just me. Still, dark rooms are a great thing to learn. However, the cat has got to be careful down to the part. A death here could prove to be very costly, especially if he's just a boy entering the dungeon now. Opting to bonk him over menuing to hook.
I'm really hoping Felix has some safeties, but it looks like they are aware that they have very low health.
Yep, taking a moment to pull up a blue potion, and quite frankly, I do not blame him one bit. A death now would be... It would basically put he's just a boy ahead at this point. It's because it's that close. They're like... I honestly say... maybe about a minute apart here. This is a very exciting match. Guys, if you are not following these runners, you really should be, because they are putting on one heck of a show tonight. They were also kind enough to allow us to restream this match. So definitely give them a follow, because I am really enjoying this.
And please send some thanks over to our tracker, MathGirl718, and our restreamer, DarkShadow59. Thank you for making this happen.
Absolutely. Now it looks like Felix0the0cat is heading for where the big key would be in Vanilla Mire. He's just a boy's opting for instead of tanking it, going for Cane of Burna straps. Not a bad idea because it does knock the stall children away.
Well, that is how the logic intended you to get that item, is without taking damage.
And we've got the Book of Medora as our second non-dungeon item. So now I'm starting to think tablets. Felix0the0cat makes the correct item count and makes the correct call and is on his way to Vitreous. Which, with the silver arrows, is a blink not situation. Now, with he's just a boy, he's got to watch it with his silver arrows because if my math is right, he comes up just a little bit short. So he's gonna have to find an alternate means of finishing this fight, either by different attacks phase 1, or Silver's phase 1 and Slash's phase 2. Either way, it's just that short on arrows. Hopefully he does find some between now and then.
I feel like a lot of dungeons have little arrows placed throughout them.
Yeah, that's true, but with the vanilla game, you really want arrows for Vitreous because let's face it, Vitreous hates sharp, pointy objects in the eye. Definitely a boss that's not a fan of acupuncture. Looks like he's just a boy did not light all the torches quick enough. We'll have to go back and relight 2 of them. Yep, there we go. And Felix0the0cat is about to say hi Vitreous, bye Vitreous. Checking the count on the silver arrows, it takes 11 to beat the boss. He's Just a Boy comes up too short at this time. As he picks up the Book of Medora. But does that also lead to desert? Or tablets? I mean, the pedestal hype unfortunately has passed.
Well, pedestal could still be Bombos.
That's true, and if that's the case, then it could be a very indirect pedestal seed, especially if they can't find Fire Rod. Meanwhile, Felix0the0cat is making that dip into desert after swamp. Not a bad play, because you got 2 non-dungeon items here, and it's right here on the opposite side after you had finished off Myers, so that's a time save. Arrows out of the desert. For the first item. Now, while pedestal could be Bombos, it wouldn't be required per se, because they'd still need the Fire Rod to get into the last area of woods. Here's hoping they find that Fire Rod soon. Got a big key. Looks like He's Just a Boy is fully aware of the arrow situation, going in with a backup strat for phase 1 for a quick phase 2. Alternatively, he could make a switch as soon as a few eyes are out, and that's looks to be what he's going to do. And yep, he's making the strategy switch on the fly. Pokes out the last 2 eyes. Shoots Vitrius down. And it doesn't look like Desert held anything. That is moving on.
So I'm wondering if Felix is actually going to go make the, not the play, but make the gamble that Fire Rod is inside Turtle Rock.
That would be go mode, and that would also raise the argument for if you find Fire Rod and Turtle Rock, you hit go mode, knock it out. Because you're right there, and Turtle Rock go mode is pretty much no different than regular Turtle Rock, and we get a Sanctuary Heart and a Butter Sword!
Very nice find.
But there was tempered, I wonder. Meanwhile, we got a hookshot cave. Rupee Horde. Bams. Bamboo stem bombs, rather. Excusez-moi. And couch cash. Meanwhile, for He's Just a Boy, he picks up his tempered sword. And it's a 1 medallion seed as it's Quake Medallion to enter Turtle Rock. And we've got a play being made on it by the one and only Felix0the0cat. Now, this is an interesting play here because this play is only going to go so far as the keys will take them. So if this first chest turns out to be a non-dungeon item, and it is not the Fire Rod, that's going to be the end of the play. No, until we get in there. Meanwhile, He's Just a Boy is going the other way, heading for Spike Cave. Or not, making the play on the ether tablet. I'd also consider Spike Cave at this point. There. Meanwhile, we do get a small key over in early, so the play continues for a piece of art. Now, if the Chain Chomp chest says a small key, we get to go to basement. If not, it has to be Fire Rod, or else we are backing out. Now you got a Spike Cave. And Chain Chomp room with green mail is scary, because you're pretty much a hit away from death. Spike Cave has, as he's just a boy, gets to the end of it. The bug net.
We'll at least be able to catch those fairies now.
Yep, that could come in handy for a backup. So now that we've gotten to this point in basement, picking up a key would be helpful. We know that Pokey has one, but there's also a chest to cross over too. Looks like he's just a boy. He's gonna check desert. So Felix is near death. Gets the big key. So we would have had to go that way anyway, regardless. Because if you get the big key before that chest in go mode, you can bypass that chest. Otherwise, you have to go there. Should it be go mode. So it looks like we might get a Mimic Cave out of this.
Mimic Cave could absolutely hold the Fire Rod.
Absolutely. I've had a couple of seeds where the bow was there. So this is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Have a Mimic Cave. Best strategy here would definitely be using the bow. However, I've seen some others too, such as lobbing 4 bombs over the wall to take out the ones we don't have the bow. There's a way to line them up with a sword, but it's not easy. And we get a piece of heart out of Mimic Cave. He's just a boy. Got into Ice Rod Cave late, but that's not going to hold anything.
Ice Palace.
Ice Rod.
Not Ice Palace, but Ice Rod Cave, and heading back to get that quarter heart.
Yeah, quarter heart. Uh-oh, we got a Turtle Rock death. However, the good news for Felix is that they did exit and re-enter the dungeon via the Mimic Cave spot, so they didn't lose too much time compared to restarting the entire dungeon. Thankfully, with the key layout of Turtle Rock, we are able to whole dungeon. So we could... Wait a minute. I do believe we have a go mode.
Yeah, Felix picked up the fire rod in Ice Palace. Not Ice Palace. I'm thinking they need to go to Ice Palace. Felix picked up the fire rod in Turtle Rock.
Wow. That is quite the play. The answer turned out to be...
So he required them while Turtle Rock and then head all the way back up to Ganon's tower.
That's quite mean, because I don't know anybody... Honestly, I can't think of too many folks that are a fan of steeds where they have to do Turtle Rock or